Seth, you gonna make me chase you, girl? Patrick said after dropping his head and clapping his hands together, then pressing the palms at his side. He took a long, deep breath through his nose and let the air escape slowly through a slightly open mouth. I'm not making you do anything, Patrick. Please don't start that smooth Mac Daddy stuff, okay? Persephone said firmly. What? Patrick said, then started mumbling a few aw shits. Woman, see you reading into it all out of context, okay? Yeah, this is the real world, and you really don't know me and all, but believe me, this is rare form for me, baby. I haven't had time for a relationship. I've been running all around a good 40 of our 50 something states, and I just had time to settle down a little, Patrick said, gesturing with his hands to his apartment. I ain't gonna lie. Hell yeah, I've had my share of one night onlys. He then cupped Persephone's head in his hands and looked her in her eyes. But I know a diamond when I see one. You? You? Kissing her lips gently after each you, which he said 4 more times. You don't know me, Persephone protested, reaching for Patrick's wrist and making him remove his hands. Let me know you, Persephone. Let me, Patrick said, taking 2 steps forward after Persephone had backed off, then taking her in his strong arms. Ever since I even thought about having a woman, she had to be just a few things: intelligent, kind, and beautiful. And Persephone, I found her. No need for me to look anywhere else, ever. I could see you are all that, baby, and more. Any man would be proud to say you were his woman. Can I be that man, Persephone? Can I? Can I? Patrick confessed, kissing Persephone's lips tenderly each time he said, Can I? Which he said at least 10 more times. Come here. I want to show you something. I had put in out back before I moved in, Patrick said suddenly, and gently took Persephone's hand and led her toward the back of his house from the living room and the hallway, then through the kitchen. Persephone noted to herself how bare the walls and shelves of his apartment made it seem lacking in appearance. I bet you're a swimming pool type of man, Persephone teased, the kind that can't start a warm day without a dip. He stopped at the back door of the kitchen and he felt around on the switch panel located on the wall next to the back door and switched on 2 lights, one for the hallway inside and one for the floodlight outside that lit up the backyard immediately. Now Persephone could partially see out the kitchen window from where she was standing, but still couldn't make out much. Patrick opened the door and theatrically waved for her to step through first. Ta-da! Patrick gestured toward his backyard, which had been converted into a basketball court on one side and a wooden deck on the other, with a barbecue grill covered and secured in heavy plastic near one edge. It looked ready for the spring and sunnier months that were coming in a few months, but seemed useless and empty somehow to be displayed in the cold March wind. Nice, Persephone said, feeling a chill and heading back inside. Look, Seth, in case you haven't noticed by now, I ain't your typical white boy. I was born to a junkie mother down in Cass Corridor. The social services took me away from her when I was 3 because of neglect. I was just 3, so I don't remember much, Patrick said, dropping his head, which made Persephone believe that wasn't entirely true. But the only real mother I ever knew was my foster mother, Lily Gillard. Me and the other 5 foster kids she raised called her Big Mama. She was a big, proud, church-going, Baptist, soul-singing sister woman who I was proud to call my Big Mama. She had to have been in her 50s when I came along. I was the youngest, and all the other kids were at least 5 years older than me. And I was the only little white boy in the entire Lower East Side where we lived, and I didn't know it. Patrick chuckled as if he was recalling an incident. My mother finally straightened up her life and fought the court to get me back. But I was 12 by then and hated her for taking me away from my family, the only real family I ever knew. She'd married and had two more kids. Come to find out, she only needed me as a built in babysitter, but she had cleaned up her life and my stepdad was all right, so I maintained. But I spent every holiday and every weekend I could with my real family and my big mama. Patrick was walking slowly, almost dragging his feet as he made his way back to the living room, Persephone close behind. I remember how she used to laugh at my clowning, always telling me, "Boy, you know you ain't nothing but a clown." She was the one to give me my first harmonica. Yes, yes, my big mama. Mm-hmm. Patrick seemed lost in his thoughts. There was a time that Persephone would have taken offense at a white boy daring to mock black voices, but Patrick just had by imitating his big mama's voice. But with Patrick, she didn't find it offensive. It wasn't unlike the difference she noted in how some white comics did imitations of black men. Like some sounded like he was either picking cotton or was a punk in a Superfly movie, but someone like Billy Crystal could speak black lingo, and if you didn't know better, you'd swear he was black. Persephone later found out that Billy Crystal was raised around black jazz musicians and Robin Williams and that such on Lakeshore Drive in ritzy Grosse Pointe, Michigan. That's enough said. She had sensed a kinship with Patrick from that first meeting. I don't know how to trust anybody else but a black woman. Before she died, that was all the woman I ever knew, I ever loved from. Patrick said as he stopped in front of the television and pressed the eject button on the video player. He placed the tape back in the Blockbuster video case, then handing the case over to Persephone. Persephone was standing behind him with her head down and didn't dare look up at him now. She didn't want him to see the tears that were trying to well up in her eyes, which she could kick herself for. Always so damn sentimental and emotional. She'd cry at a damn Kodak commercial, her mother once said. He was holding a tape out toward Persephone, and she took it, still not looking up at him. Then she saw a distinct teardrop hit the plastic video case. Persephone looked up and saw the tear had come from Patrick. I ain't never told another woman, other than my big mama, that I loved her. But my right hand to Jesus, girl, I feel something for you. And if you let me love you, I would. He raised his right hand up as if giving a pledge. His tears had subsided, but his intensity had not. Patrick, I hate to keep repeating myself, but I feel I must. I don't know you. I mean, I feel for you that you had such a rough life and everything, but I ain't no mammy. I'm me. You seem to maybe want someone that I might not be, Persephone blurted out in her confusion. She was just trying to be honest. I know you ain't my big mama. That ain't what I'm saying. What I was saying, I guess, was that you are part of that culture, the people that created Big Mama. The only way of life that I know is the black way of life. He stopped briefly and clenched his teeth, causing the muscles in his jawline to tighten. Persephone, don't you use the word mammy, even in the remotest way, in reference to my big mama again. Understood? His voice was even and controlled. Hey now, who needs to chill? I wasn't calling your big mama mammy. Evidently, you interpreted what I said like that. But that's not what I said. Okay? So now you need to be the one to chill. Persephone was being defensive, and fortunately, Patrick knew that.